No. Coffee does not cause cancer, and the best evidence says it may even lower your risk of a couple of them. If you have been feeling guilty about your morning cup, you can let that go. But there is one real catch hiding in this story, and it is not the coffee itself, so let me give you the whole picture. For a long time, coffee had a cloud over it. Back in 1991, the International Agency for Research on Cancer listed coffee as possibly carcinogenic, and that label stuck in the public mind for decades. Here is the thing people missed. In 2016, IARC reviewed all the evidence that had piled up since then and reversed itself. They moved coffee out of the possibly carcinogenic group and into the category of not classifiable, which is the science way of saying we looked hard and we do not have evidence that it causes cancer. Not only that, the review noted that coffee drinking appeared to be associated with a reduced risk of liver cancer and of cancer of the uterine lining. Coffee did not just get cleared, it got a cautious note in its favor. So why did coffee ever get flagged? Two reasons, and both are worth understanding because they teach you how these scares work. The first is confounding. For decades, heavy coffee drinkers were also more likely to be heavy smokers. When you do not carefully separate those two, coffee takes the blame for what tobacco is doing. Once researchers accounted for smoking properly, coffee's apparent risk faded. The second is acrylamide, a compound that forms when you roast coffee beans and also when you bake bread, roast potatoes, or fry anything at high heat. Acrylamide causes cancer in lab animals at very high doses. But in humans, at the amounts you actually get from food and coffee, the evidence that it causes cancer has not materialized. This is the same reason the California warning label showed up on coffee, and in 2019 the state's own health agency concluded coffee does not pose a significant cancer risk and moved to exempt it. Even the regulators walked it back. Now the real catch, and this is the part worth remembering. When IARC cleared coffee, they flagged something else. Drinking beverages that are very hot, above about 65 degrees Celsius, which is roughly 150 degrees Fahrenheit, probably does raise the risk of cancer of the esophagus. Notice what that means. It is not the coffee, the tea, or the mate. It is the temperature. Scalding liquid appears to damage the lining of your esophagus repeatedly, and that chronic injury is the risk. This is why esophageal cancer rates are higher in parts of the world where people traditionally drink beverages near boiling. The fix is almost comically simple. Let your coffee cool for a few minutes before you drink it. If it is too hot to be comfortable, it is too hot. So here is where the science actually lands. Coffee itself is not a cancer risk, and for liver and endometrial cancer, it may be modestly protective. It is loaded with its own antioxidant compounds, and most large studies link moderate coffee drinking to a range of health benefits, not harms. The thing to watch is not whether you drink coffee, but how hot you drink it, and whether you are loading it with a lot of added sugar and cream, which brings its own set of problems that have nothing to do with the coffee. Drink your coffee. Enjoy it. Just give it a minute to cool from lava to pleasant, and you have handled the only part of the story that carries a real signal. The cup was never the problem.